Before we dive into today's episode, I want to extend a special invitation to all of our listeners. If you're considering adoption, navigating the home study process, or simply curious about your options, RG Adoption Consulting is here to guide you. Visit our website at www.rgadoptionconsulting.com/contact to schedule a complimentary chat. Our multi-agency approach is a strategic way to accelerate your adoption process without putting all your eggs in one basket. This strategy prevents you from feeling stuck with one agency, especially after a significant financial commitment. Why not consider a multi-agency approach with lower initial fees? We believe it makes a lot more sense. Plus, the support and education you receive through our services are aspects you might not expect you'll need until you're deep into the process. Reach out to us at rgadoptionconsulting.com/contact. We're here to support your adoption journey every step of the way. Your dream is to become a mom. My dream is to help you get there. I'm Rebecca Greenspan, a single mom through domestic adoption and an adoption consultant for over a decade. I'll be your guide, along with other adoption professionals and members of the adoption constellation, walking you step by step down this beautiful and complex path of adopting your baby. When I was going through the adoption process, I had no idea what I was doing, what I needed to know, or more importantly, who to trust. Well, after helping hundreds and hundreds of families grow through the beauty and complexity of adoption, I've learned more than a thing or two, and let me tell you, it's not always rainbows and butterflies. This isn't just another podcast sharing adoption stories, but it's for you if you're genuinely committed to diving in with an open heart, eager to learn everything there is to know about adopting a baby so that you can show up for yourself and your child in the best way possible. This podcast is for you if you're ready to put your newfound knowledge into action. Adoption isn't for the weak of heart, and it certainly isn't done when your baby gets placed in your arms. If that's what you think, I'm afraid you're living in La La Land. My promise to you is to keep it real if you promise to keep digging. We'll acknowledge the hard, and we'll also celebrate the joy that is adoption. You ready? Let's do this. Today, on This Week in Adoption, the Adoption Roadmap, good morning, I am Rebecca Greenspan, your hostess with the mostest. So far this morning, it's 10 to 9, almost. What do you guys all accomplish before 9 a.m.? This is a serious question. I want to know. So this morning, I wake up, I pull my phone and I scroll. I answer, I respond to remarks on social and on the different platforms. I sometimes respond to email, and I check our communication in my team Slack channel. Get my son up. I got a workout in. I got us out the door and dropped him off at school. Walked the dog, fed the dog, made my coffee, showered. No makeup, I couldn't fit it in. But, I got it together enough. That feels like a lot to me, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. I am feeling compelled to a client of mine got me these positive affirmation cards, and I'm just going to pull one today. See what it is. Okay. Oh, so perfect. I don't know if you can read it. It's probably backwards. It says, I make a difference in the world every day. That's one of my favorite ones I've ever pulled, and I try to do my best. I'm going to put it right in front of me. Anywho, good morning. I really, truly want to know what you get accomplished before 9 a.m. The other thing I want to know is this, and this is a more serious question, and I'm very curious what your thoughts are. Do you think there is an age that is too old to adopt an infant? So some agencies will say they won't take couples with the combination age of 100. Or some people will say one person has to be under 50. or we won't take a single person if they're 50 or over. Some have no age limit. What is your thought about an age limit for somebody trying to adopt an infant? This is truly a question, and I grapple with this question a lot. We have had rules in the past about that, and I second guess it all the time, partially because who am I? I do have thoughts on it, but who am I to set those parameters? And then the second part of the question is this. If you think 50 is a good cutoff point, what if it's celebrities? Does it change anything? I don't know. Give it some thought. We have some good things today to talk about. Fear. What does that stand for? Something appearing real. False? Is it false expectations? Gosh, what's the E in fears? What does it stand for? There's a something. It's false something appearing real. False evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. Thank you. Parents and loved ones who are not accepting. These are biggies. Putting out negative energy. That's another biggie. I'm going to start with that one. There's a lot that can go wrong in adoption. There are some journeys that are smooth sailing. First match, adoption, happens in 2 days, no money lost, not a lot spent, bada bing, bada boom, bada boom, bada bang, whatever that is. And it just happens. And others go through fall through after fall through after fall through, lose 10,000, another 5,000, another 4,000, apply for grants, doesn't get a grant, gets a grant, waits for 2 years, heartache, pain, loss of money, roller coaster up and down around the bend. Now, there are some people who take all of that in stride and know that it sucks and feels the pain, but doesn't let that lead any part of their journey. And there are other people who just can't hold it together as much, or just for whatever reason are not wired to think positively and always go to the negative. So who do you think has the easier time? And I do want to acknowledge, and I see the people who start positive, and after so much, people can only endure so much. And then they just start thinking negative about the world, right? About everything. But there are people who come into this already with so much loss and pain, with the idea of, this isn't going to happen for me. You know, I recently had a client, and this all goes with fear, right? So I recently had a client. I love these people, by the way. I am not speaking ill will. I'm just speaking of things that have come up so that maybe you can take something from it. Who just matched. It's a long match. It's a perfect for them match. And when they found out they were chosen, the reaction was, that's awesome, even though I know it's going to fail. Ooh, whoa, just put the brakes on for a minute. How about just leave it at, that's awesome, we are excited for this journey. What you put out into the world, you manifest. I believe that. I am a little woo-woo. You probably know that about me already. I mean, I picked my affirmation card. I manifested the heck out of losing my job so I can do this full time. That's a story for another time. How you think, how you react, how you show up drives how difficult or easy or supported you feel throughout this journey. There are also people who hire us and think they're only working with us for one reason and one reason only, which is to help them match quickly. And don't take advantage of all of the resources that we provide. We have the best client community, bar none. I am sure of it. I don't know, but I feel that really strongly in my heart and my soul. They are so supportive. Hundreds of families that have walked through this. People don't take advantage of it. We have speakers every month that people aren't listening to. We have therapists every month that people don't take advantage of. These are all tools that can help you have an easier journey, have a more supported journey, not derail yourself and go down a rabbit hole, because it's harder to do when you're surrounded by people who have been through where you are walking and lift you up. So long story short, before you even know what's going to happen, do yourself the biggest favor in the world and do whatever wherever you can, before you even know what your journey is, start off on a positive note. Don't let people derail you. Don't let situations derail you. You're already starting this and going in. So anyways, do whatever it takes for you to be in a positive mindset. Think positive, no matter what happens in your journey. And if you do decide at any given point, I just can't take any more, this isn't for me, either decide I'm just going to take a break for a minute and pause so I can clear my head and understand what I need to do next, or stop the journey, but doing your best not to hold on to all that negativity and, yuck, so that you can move forward and feel good about it. Or continue your journey, ask for help, ask for resources. There are ways that you can continue going forward with support and love and resources to help you do so. So you have decisions to make along the way. That's number one.
Before we go on, we're going to take a quick break, but don't go away. We still have so much to talk about. Hey there, Adoption Roadmap fam. Are you ready to take the next step on your journey to parenthood? If so, head over to our website and take our quiz. It's called, Are You Ready to Adopt? It's not just about testing your knowledge. It's about making sure you're emotionally and practically prepared for the beautiful, complex journey of adoption. Let's make your dream of parenthood a reality. Go to rgadoptionconsulting.com and take the Are You Ready to Adopt quiz today. That's rgadoptionconsulting.com. The quiz is free, and it will let you know where you are in the process and if you're ready to jump into your adoption journey.
That's number one. And that goes into fear, right? Fear is the driver a lot of times for all of these negative reactions. And fear is so paralyzing, so paralyzing. So I talked to another family this week when they first talked to us, and I hope if these people are listening, they don't feel called out. I share these experiences because there are other people who are experiencing the same and they need to hear this. I hope. I don't know. I tell myself somebody needs to hear it, whether that's true or not. I had a couple who called for an inquiry call, and they shared what they were open to, and they were going back and forth about race, and they were very nervous about opioid exposure. Most people are. We gave them resources. We said, do some research, come back if you want to move forward. They came back. They opened up racial preferences. They said they were, they felt a little bit more comfortable with everything, and they decided to move forward. And when we start with education, and the more they started learning, the more scared they got and realized they don't think their parents will support them if they don't have a child that's biologically their own. It's sad, and that happens a lot. And I don't know. Sometimes I think that's an easier one to handle, and I think that our loved ones come around. I know that when you are starting out on a journey that somebody doesn't know a whole lot about, but just what they think they know, and most of which are probably myths, but whatever they've heard about adoption, it scares them, right? And so if you come to a parent and they love you so much, and our job as a parent sometimes, or we feel like it is at least, is to protect our children, right? And so that initial reaction from a loved one is fear. They're experiencing the fear for you. They don't want anything bad to happen. They don't want you to experience a scammer or losing money or the heartache of it not happening or there being a problem with the child problem. So they're going to tell you everything that they feel like is wrong with it, and they're going to tell you, they're trying to convince you not to do it, right? That's on them. That's on them. And it's also on us to help educate them along the way. But most of the time, they will come around. Most of the time. Not always. So that was a fear. And the fear was, well, if we adopt outside of our race, there's a lot of racism from past generations that get carried in. That is a huge thing to consider, for sure. That is valid. And only you can answer that. Are you ready to step away from family who treat your child any differently? Or is it just not a good idea to bring a child of a different race into your family? That is totally up to you. And then they started second guessing all the things about drug exposure and all the things. So we had a really, really serious conversation about the reasons that they started this journey to begin with, and how fear can make you feel false evidence appearing real. But another thing I learned, and I think I've mentioned this in past recordings, is that the feelings that we feel when we are in fear are manifest the exact same way in our body as when we feel excited. Think about that. So with just a shift of the brain, you can tell yourself, I'm super fearful of this journey and what it might mean in the future, or I'm really excited about this journey and what it might mean in the future. It's a blank slate and we don't know what that is, and that's exciting to us. Yeah, it's scary. But let's talk about, if you really sat down, and even if you got pregnant and you didn't smoke and didn't drink and didn't, and you were as healthy as anything, if we sat down and really went through with you what it means to be a parent and all the scary things and unknowns that are about to come into your life, would that also paralyze you from giving birth? The chances of your child having something is probably high. I don't know. But, there's a lot that can go wrong and there's a lot that can go right. And our mind is powerful and our conversations are powerful. And there is support to take advantage of. So don't think you can go through this process alone. Don't think when you start the adoption journey that the end result is simply bringing a baby home, because if that is your only thought, and okay, I'm going to back up a minute. I'm going to give you all the benefit of the doubt and say, of course, that's what you want. And that's what your first thought as you enter the journey is, that is the end result. That is what you hope for. When that happens, all your dreams will come true. Yes, and everything in life is a yes, and. I hope that once you start learning about adoption, you enter the journey. Just as with any parenting, the end result is not to have a baby and be done. No matter who your child is and where they came from and how they came into your life, you have to also learn how to be the best parent for your child. So there is so much. Adoption is complicated. It is. And there are things that you will have to bend on in your life that you are not doing currently. Your life will need to change in some ways, and mostly it will be enhanced in most ways. And it requires some muscles to be used along the way that are maybe a little uncomfortable, and that's okay. You need to put yourself also in the shoes of your child. And in order to do that, you have to do as much as you can to understand what they might be feeling and what they might be going through. So all of this is a journey that's layered upon layered upon layered, and nobody gets it except for the people who have gone through it too and experienced all the things that you're experiencing. So if you think you can do this without community and be in a silo, can you? Of course you can. You're gonna suffer through it. I promise you that. And so will your child. So I want you to just think about all of this, right? Yes, fear is real and it can paralyze you if you let it. Your mind is powerful. You can make a decision about anything and truly believe it at any given time. I've done that so much in my life. People will accept your decisions. People will not accept your decisions. Whatever you decide, you have to feel at peace with that, and you have to stand firmly in your convictions, and you have to stand your ground. And so here are the things I want to know that I asked at the beginning. 1, I would love to hear from you either in comments or DM me. What do you accomplish before 9 a.m.? I really want to know. But even more so, I want to know if you think there should be an age cutoff for infant adoption, for adopting a baby. Is there an age that is too old to be bringing a baby into your life that maybe is not fair to the child? And does it make a difference if it's celebrities? And should I be making, as a somebody who's helping somebody through that process, if somebody is going to give them a home study anyways, should I be helping them regardless, even if I have feelings about it one way or another? I don't know. These are questions I grapple with. I'm curious. Go make a difference in the world. Love you guys. Thank you for following.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that episode of the Adoption Roadmap podcast. If you did, I have a few favors to ask of you. First, please hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. And while you're at it, I'd love to hear your takeaways. Please write a review and let me know what you liked. And if you have a question or a suggestion on what you'd like to hear, I'd love to hear that too. Please shoot me an email at support@rgadoptionconsulting.com and let me know what you'd like to hear about. And if you have a question, I may just answer it online. Thanks again for listening. Tune in every Wednesday and Friday morning for a brand new episode of the Adoption Roadmap podcast. Until next time, bye-bye.